Good morning and welcome back to U.S. News Flash. Today's latest news concern
an American plumber and U.S. Army veteran who stole an M60A3 Patton tank from a U.S. National Guard armory in San Diego, California, and went on a rampage.
Stay tuned to... Good morning and welcome back to European News Flash. Today's latest news concern a ticket collector smuggling vacuum cleaner bags, a gummy bear thief who got caught by the police, a cow breaking into the supermarket, and a tipped over truck filled with toilet paper on the highway. Hi there everybody, today we have a video that was recommended by our Discord member and it's called The Stolen Tank Rampage from 1995. I don't know what to expect. Maybe if I would guess, I would probably say it happened either in Southeastern Europe or in Russia. I don't know why, but you know, like all the crazy videos that you see on the internet are always from Russia. But okay, without further ado, the original link is down in the description below. And let's jump
This
into
video
the
is brought to you by Magellan TV, the documentary streaming membership service founded by filmmakers, bringing you premium content, diving deep into the history subjects you want to learn more about. Magellan TV has the richest and most varied content on history available anywhere. Magellan TV has over 2,000 plus documentary movies, series, and exclusive playlists. They have ancient, modern, current, early modern, war, and biographical history, which can be watched anywhere on your television, laptop, or mobile device. We highly recommend you check out Titans of War, Evolution of the Battle Tank. In this show, you'll learn about the origins of the tank in World War I to today's sophisticated modern battle tanks. Witness what it was really like inside the cramped conditions of the FT-17, how the Tiger I tank came about, and what makes the Merkava modern tank so deadly. All the shows are without interruptions from commercials, and many programs are available in 4K. Simple History viewers get a 1-month free membership trial. Just go to try.magellantv.com/simplehistory or click the link in the description below. Head over there now. The Stolen Tank Rampage. San Diego, California, U.S., 1995.
In the U.S.? Really?
The M60...
I really didn't expect that. I mean, I know that guns and everything is a big topic in the U.S., but it's a stolen tank. Okay. Is it, can you as an individual own a tank, buy and own a tank in the US and drive it around legally and own it? Is it possible?
Patton was an American main battle tank that had entered service within the U.S. Army in huge numbers in the 1960s. Over 15,000 had been built and had seen combat with the Israelis in the 1973 Yom Kippur War, as well as in the Persian Gulf conflict of 1991 with the Allied coalition forces. They were the primary series of tanks used by the United States during the Cold War, but by the 1990s it was being replaced in the U.S. Armed Forces by the new M1 Abrams tank, and was therefore in the process of being phased out of frontline service and placed into the U.S. Army Reserve.
Okay.
So what was one of these 52-ton beasts doing rampaging around downtown San Diego in California on a warm summer's evening in 1995?
I really don't know.
The tank in question belonged to the National Guard and was being stored at their armory facility in central San Diego. It was an A3 variant armed with the latest version of the 105mm cannon and a coaxial mounted 7.62mm machine gun.
Okay, this story sounds like a Sam Onella video. I would recommend Sam Onella doing a video on this topic. It would be great.
Improved fire control system, which included a laser-assisted gun sight. Its armor had been upgraded so that in places it was up to a foot thick. The stolen tank's main gun was deadly capable of firing rounds up to a staggering 2.5 miles away with pinpoint accuracy. It was also armed with a medium machine gun embedded in the turret next to the main gun that could shoot at an incredible rate of fire. So, despite the basic design being over 30 years old, it was still a deadly and highly efficient killing machine. Thankfully, no ammunition was on board this stolen tank, and this was stored separately at the armory when the tanks were not in use. This particular M60A3 Patton had been stolen by mentally troubled and disgruntled ex-US Army tank driver Sean Nelson. The 35-year-old had simply driven up to the unguarded armory, drove through its unlocked main gates, and started to roam around the facility freely. Despite there being a large number of military personnel on duty at the time.
How? But he was probably in civilian clothes, so how could he just walk around? Maybe he knew people at the gates and they just, hey Matt, nice to see you again. Are you visiting, like Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy's there. You can go and see him.
No one seemed to notice Nelson wandering around. The security at the armory was to come into much criticism, as no one approached Nelson as he attempted to unsuccessfully start 2 of the tanks. These style of tanks did not require any kind of key or code to get them started. He simply fired up the engine by pushing on a starter button and put it into gear to get moving. Nelson then got lucky when the 3rd tank started up. Only then was he challenged by a curious guard. But by then it was too late, as Nelson simply drove off, leaving the bewildered soldier no choice but to run to the nearest guard post to phone the police and tell them one of their tanks had just been stolen. So who was?
Just imagine being the police officer. Hello? Yeah, what's up? Sir, a tank was stolen.
Was this Sean Nelson? Well, he had been born in Utah, and as soon as he graduated high school, he joined the Army. He only served for 2 years, spending most of that time as a tank driver with the U.S. Army Battalion in West Germany. It seemed Nelson was always in trouble with his commanding officers and was honorably discharged from the Army in 1980 at the age of 21. And during the 1980s, he seemed to put his troubled past behind him, and for the next few years adjusted well to civilian life.
Okay.
He set up and ran a successful plumbing business and settled down and married a legal secretary, having a calm life for 6 years. His problems started to mount up.
But then he got a midlife crisis.
As both his business and marriage started to run into trouble in the late 1980s, and he started using drugs again. In 1988, his beloved mother had died, and in 1990,
life was
Nelson's
too boring
wife
for
finally
him.
divorced him after 7 years of marriage. The same year, he was in a motorcycle accident which left him with some permanent back injuries that would make it difficult for him to work as regularly as he needed or wanted to. He later filed a lawsuit against the hospital for malpractice, but he didn't win. Nelson blamed the same hospital for the death of his mother. To add to his troubles in 1992, his father, whom he was extremely close to, died unexpectedly. After this, Nelson increasingly turned to alcohol and drugs for comfort. By 1995, he was seriously in debt when his work van and plumbing tools were stolen, bringing his business to a grinding halt.
Bruh, he really didn't have
fully
luck
cover the loss
in life.
He was now unable to work, and his old back injury was causing him a lot of pain. Then, that spring, his water and electricity were cut off because he had not paid the bills. As well, the bank had started proceedings to repossess his home, as he had not paid the mortgage in months. Nelson was now heavily addicted to crystal meth, using it in a hopeless attempt to dull all the physical and emotional pain he was feeling at the time. As with most addicts, it made Nelson more aggressive and at times violent. He started to become more mentally unstable and was having paranoid delusions.
I just hope that nobody got hurt
shaft in his backyard, wrongly convinced that there was gold down there. His girlfriend Michelle, who had been living with him, now left Nelson, which according to friends made him extremely depressed and suicidal. All of this seemed to cause Nelson to have some kind of mental breakdown and pushed him to a limit that had led him, bizarrely, to steal a tank from the National Guard Armory in San Diego on May 17, 1990.
The last few years were pretty bad for me in my personal life. I had relationship problems. I need to steal a tank. I mean, it's not an excuse to steal a freaking tank.
And around 6:30 p.m.
And to go on a rampage through the city.
The local police were in hot pursuit in their patrol cars, as well as the state troopers and TV crews and helicopters. Therefore, the chase quickly ended up being broadcasted live on national TV, as the tank cut through the suburb of Claremont at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour.
Who remembers GTA from up above?
As it did so.
It was GTA 2,
Nelson
I think.
plowed through numerous road signs, lampposts, traffic lights, and electricity poles, as well as running over several fire hydrants, causing water to shoot up high into the air. He would crush approximately 40 parked vehicles. He even managed to inadvertently cut off power to 5,000 local residents. Oncoming traffic was forced to swerve to avoid him or risk being trampled beneath the tank's tracks. And despite a large police presence, they were totally powerless to stop Nelson, as the normal police tactics
I mean, you can't stop it with a car.
In this case. Setting up roadblocks was pointless, as was trying to force the tank off the road by ramming it with a police cruiser. Deploying stinger strips was also not going to work on a tracked vehicle.
But what was his plan?
The police didn't even know at this stage if the tank was
around?
armed or not. So in desperation, they considered asking for the assistance of the Marine Corps base at nearby Camp Pendleton, where a squadron of AH-1 Cobra attack helicopters were based. But apart from the legality of using U.S. military assets to attack a civilian on American soil, there was the fear that one of the Cobra's anti-tank missiles could miss its target and cause heavy loss of life among the nearby civilian population.
Okay.
Nelson completely destroyed a large RV before he turned onto the freeway and headed southbound. A short while later, he stopped briefly to ram one of the support pillars of a pedestrian bridge several times, seemingly in an unsuccessful attempt to bring it down. There, as he was once again speeding down the freeway, he suddenly attempted to cross over onto the northbound side, but got caught up in the concrete barrier of State Route 163 that divided up the two sides of the freeway.
I really don't know how to stop him.
When the tank lost one of its tracks and was unable to free itself, the police took the opportunity to use a bolt cutter to open the driver's hatch and ordered Nelson to surrender. But he said nothing in reply and continued to rev the tank engine, rocking it back and forth in an attempt to free the tank from the barrier. The police felt they had no option but to open fire, and a single bullet hit Nelson in the neck, putting an end to his rampage that had lasted a terrifying 23 minutes. Nelson was to die later that evening at the local hospital from his gunshot wound.
But nobody got hurt,
So why had Nelson just wandered into a U.S. facility and stolen a U.S. Army tank? Some say it may have been politically motivated, but apart from some of his outspoken views against the U.S. government and his supposed support for the recent bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma, there was no evidence that linked him to any organization. Instead, most people, including his ex-wife and his brother, believe that Nelson had suffered a mental breakdown, fueled by his addictions.
Yeah, I mean, but what against the government? I don't... Okay, but this really looks like GTA. I think it's GTA 2, where you have from, you know, like the view from above. I mean, I don't know. I just hope that nobody got hurt. It was like 23 minutes just rolling around. Just imagine first being the police officer receiving a call in which, I don't know, the soldier tells you, hey, a tank got stolen, what? And then you go with your children on an ice in the city, you know, like just enjoying the sun and everything, and then the tank just rolls there, and then 50 police cars chasing the tank. Wonderful day. Okay, I didn't expect it to be in the US. I don't know why I didn't expect it, but you know, like every time when you see a crazy video, I don't know, with tanks and people fighting bears and stuff, just crazy videos, it's always from Russia, so I was like, yeah, it's probably Russia. No offense, Russia. I love you, Russia. I love every country. I love everybody in the world. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for the video. It was great. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to join the community, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And until the next time, see ya.